Welcome everybody here to By The Water Realty at the Fireside Cafe. We're here just before the holiday season to bring you a little spirit in our brokerage and talk to Jess and see what's going on in her little life here today. So some exciting news. Broker Gary here, by the way, and it's going to be kind of weird to say this. I can officially actually say I have Broker Jessica here with me today as well. It's been a while since we've posted a video or streamed to our massive amount of fans that we have out there. We apologize. Some would say they we're almost as famous as Tay Tay and
not quite.
Travis Kelsey. We're working on that. So I just want to take a moment and talk about Jessica's journey and how she got her broker's license. So when did you pass? You just recently passed, right?
A few weeks ago. I think we're going on close to 3 weeks now.
Is
At
it
least
already,
2. Yes.
It's already 3 weeks. It feels crazy already. So let's go on that journey a little bit. How long did it take for you to get your brokerage license? How long were you licensed? Talk to us about the journey, lengthwise it took for you to get there as an agent, and how long it for you to take the pre-licensing.
Okay. Well, as an agent, I think in our last video, I spoke about just hitting my 5-year mark. But I did start taking the course and studying for my broker's license prior to that 5-year mark. To get to that point, it was really the growth of myself as an agent and the growth with you as By The Water Realty. You are the one who suggested I obtain my broker's license. And going through everything, the motions as a sales agent, and then coming here to By The Water Realty with you, I learned so much kind of being under your wing of how to develop and run the brokerage, so to speak. So having that growth, just education-wise, being here at By The Water Realty kind of gave me that step up to getting my broker's license. And I took your words of wisdom, and I believe I started studying for it and taking a course sometime this past spring.
Okay.
And like I'm sure all sales agents do it, you go heavy for a week or two, and then you maybe don't touch it for another week, and of course that's what I did. But then kind of after season was over, it was I gotta go hit hard and go home. Business did slow down a little bit, so I would say I probably had a good 4 to 6 weeks of studying. And then got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take that test. And I took it and we passed.
And for those of y'all out there that don't know us as By The Water Realty, again, we're a small family-run brokerage with a team of folks in the family. Jessica is definitely an integral part of our team. She is the cog that kind of handles all the accounting and everything in the background as far as documentation, filing, storing, handling all of the QuickBooks, handling essentially everything in the background. She is managing that. So a lot of what she already did was some of the, not really prerequisites of being a broker, but with starting a business, she's already been handling. So kind of the thought process I had ahead of time is she might as well have it. Now, obviously, one of my questions I have, and maybe you haven't thought about this yet, is what's your plan now that you have it? Are you going to do anything special with it? And a second part to that question, do you think that your customers or clients have any value now that you have a broker's license?
I think thinking about it, kind of going back a little bit, just having it and kind of having to be able to say to my clients and customers, I do have this education, I do have this knowledge. It's one thing to say, oh yeah, I help run the family brokerage, but to be able to say, oh, now I'm a broker associate. I have, the education to kind of back that, I think is good. And I think when I have announced it to some of my clients, they were like, well, way to go. Weren't you kind of already doing that though? And I was like, yeah, kind of, we were there, but they were proud. They were, proud of that, so.
Was it difficult, the whole thing?
I wouldn't say difficult. A lot of it was repetition from, like I said in the previous video we had, stuff that you learn as a sales associate, basic real estate knowledge. And I also think I had that leg up that most people don't have the opportunity to have being here at the brokerage, seeing what you do and how you operate, the brokerage on a day-to-day basis and helping you with that. There was a lot of stuff that was covered in, the class and all of my studying that I already kind of knew and understood because I've been doing it. It made sense, and I would say to myself, oh, that's why Gary does that. Oh, that makes sense now. And to kind of see it in the real life world and in an education setting and putting it together, I thought was really neat. So I'm not going to say it was easy or hard or anything, but I do think I had a little advantage than most people would do. If I hadn't been here at By The Water Realty and seen how things run behind the scenes, just coming from a sales associate experience, I think it would have been drastically
Wouldn't
harder.
have helped as much, right?
No.
That's awesome. There's one other thing I want to touch on, but I figure I'd just take a moment and kind of talk a little bit about my journey of becoming a broker. I know I've talked about starting By The Water Realty, what we were, and etc. But my process was a little different, obviously. So when I first started, for those of you that know and for those that don't know, I got licensed in 2012. I first hung my license with Coldwell Banker, so I got into the general real estate world for about 3 or 4 months of learning the ins and outs and hitting my head off the wall and really just kind of starting to learn that process. 3 months isn't really enough to become a professional yet. But then I joined, not a builder per se, but it was a form of a builder, kind of a hybrid between general real estate and working for a full-fledged builder as an employee. And then I joined a builder for about 7 years, and then came full circle, learned a lot more about the business with home construction, obviously, and now I'm learning a lot more with land. But to start your own brokerage or business, obviously somebody has to have their broker's license, unless you go out and hire and find somebody that you trust and or wants to be a part of that business. You gotta go get your own broker's license. So I crammed through mine probably from January of 2020 till I think I was licensed roughly in March when we all started the brokerage. So I did it fast and furious as well. And unless you become a broker in charge or a broker of a business, you probably won't learn a lot of the lessons that I learned right off the bat. But I think just doing it from the beginning, or brand new agents or brand new brokers out there, there's gonna be a lot of things that you learn. Just always err on the side of doing the right thing, and I think you'll be all right. Otherwise, we just passed a fancy exam, so we put some more school time in. I think the bigger thing is a lot of the brokers around just have a lot more experience. They've experienced a lot more things, and they were able to get through the licensing a lot easier. And we can probably name a lot of the local brokers or broker associates in the area. So that's my journey. I hope you're enjoying your time with us right here by the fireside. We're getting ready for the holidays. By the Water Realty, I hear, has Santa flying around somewhere, getting ready for Christmas. Mm-hmm. Speaking of, this is kind of an interesting one. I'm personally right now, and I know a lot of agents out there have handled customers or clients that are either shopping emotionally for an exciting new home or condo or getaway home. Maybe they're visiting the beach, maybe they're visiting the mountains, and they're getting ready to buy a property, or maybe it's for taxes. Their tax man said, hey, I need you to go move some money. So they got to buy something before the end of year. So that it does happen often that folks are shopping for properties in the holidays. So Jessica, take me through some tips and pointers, and they might not be much different, but take me some tips and pointers for shoppers during the holiday season. They're looking for that special home during the holidays.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think it differs too much from what it typically is. But my number one thing that I always tell everyone, no matter what, is to talk with a lender before you go see any homes. I cannot tell you how many clients I've had that starts emailing me, texting me over listings they want to see, and I say, have you spoke with your lender yet? Oh, I don't have one. Do you have any recommendations? That's the funniest thing to me. But that's the number one thing I tell everyone if you're a buyer. Speak with a lender. Get that accomplished. At the very least, establish a relationship. Know who you're going to want to use for a lender. Maybe speak with a couple of them and go from there. Secondly, I would kind of have a priority list of what you're really looking for in a home, whether it's investment property or something that's going to be a primary residence. Buyers can confuse themselves. They're not really exactly sure what they want because the market is limited right now. There isn't as much as available now that is in the summer months. So kind of have that priority list, jot it down, 1 to 10, highest priority at top and lowest priority at the bottom. And then that'll help you with your search later on. I think those are two big things for buyers out there right now to try and get a handle on before they really see any property.
And I think I'll add to that. So I think those are phenomenal pieces of advice for folks shopping at any time of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I think the biggest thing that comes to mind for me personally, if I'm shopping, if I'm selling, if I'm listing somebody's property during the holiday season, and we'll expand on this, is going to be timing. Mm-hmm. It's going to be dates. It's going to be close dates. It's going to be walkthrough schedule, inspection schedule, title schedules. There's going to be a lot of dates and during the holidays. Let it be Hanukkah, let it be Christmas, let it be Christmas Eve, let it be your lister or your seller is out of town. Mm-hmm. They don't allow you to go see the property. If you're buying or selling or listing or whatever you're doing with the property during the holidays, be very mindful of first being able to get into a property depending on when you're here, of the requirements the folks have of showing the property. Be mindful that it could be very busy because all people are here at the same time during that time that you have off. Mm-hmm. Folks with kids have a certain week off or 2 weeks during the holiday season. Same with you and your job. So not only you or yourself, it's going to be everybody else looking for that particular property that you may be searching for. And then fast forward, be mindful when you go under contract that it's the holiday season. So is it calendar business days in your contract? Is it business days in your contract? Be mindful with that, with getting your earnest money deposit in, of being in contact with the title companies. That's also real estate agents here as well. Not everybody is 100% focused, aside from you, on that property that you're looking to buy at that very time. So be more diligent, be more open, be aware of what you're setting in a contract that you're required to hit based off of the timing around Christmas Eve, Christmas, Hanukkah, anything involved in the month of December to January. I see a lot of closings as a builder, or when I worked for a builder, or as a broker now, we're almost 3 years now in our brokerage, of things don't always go to plan during the holiday season. Things get pushed into January. And sometimes that can make the seller or buyer not have those Christmas jollies anymore. So be very mindful of that. And that's the biggest thing I want to take away, and I wanted to interject on top of all of the crucial parts that you mentioned off that I think all folks need to have taken care of right off the bat. Just be mindful of time and dates and other folks' times and dates. And that's it. I think that will be helpful for anybody shopping in December and January.
I agree. Those are some good points.
What are some last parting thoughts that you'd like to share with our millions of fans about getting their broker's license? Just give one thing you didn't like that somebody should be prepared for.
It is very monotonous. If you choose to do it, on a computer at home, like I did, to kind of work around your work schedule, your life schedule, just be prepared to be sitting, writing, taking notes. I think that's one of the most difficult things about it. Not so much that the education and learning was difficult, but the actual having to sit there and do it. That's the hard part for me. When you kind of go to a class, you get excited, you get to meet new people, you're there to all learn the same thing, and it's exciting. I have done classes when I did my sales associate license years ago, and that was fun. It was exciting. But having to sit in front of a computer, to log in, to kind of force yourself to do that, to motivate yourself, that's the difficult part. So that's what I think is the number one thing to kind of prepare yourself for. It's not the most fun thing out there.
Yeah, I agree with that. Awesome. So Thank you guys. I just want to say I appreciate any and all of you that take the time to watch our videos. I know we're not huge yet. We're working towards that and working towards improving our quality. But one step at a time for family brokerage. For any of y'all that watch it all the way through and get to this part, call us for some holiday cheer. Maybe we'll have a little surprise for you. All right? Give us a call. Broker Gary out. Rah!